Good audio is one of the hallmarks of good content, whether you're doing YouTube videos or live streaming. Plenty of people would say that if you don't sound good, like perhaps what you're hearing right now, it doesn't matter if you look good, no matter what camera I might be using. Obviously, it's most ideal to be good in both aspects. The good news is, when it comes to the tech we have right now, it's all getting better and it's also all getting much more accessible. And I think I have a really great example of that right here. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? This is the Tonor TC30, a super affordable way for you to up your audio game. Disclaimer time, Tonor is actually sponsoring this video, so this is not a full review per se. Instead, this will be an overview of the microphone and a look into the different ways that a USB microphone like this can improve your content in multiple categories. Many thanks to Tonor for sponsoring this content and actually for introducing me to their TC30, because in all honesty, I have been pretty impressed with this microphone. Let's start off with the unboxing, and yes, I tried to rebox the TC30 for the purposes of this particular shot. The good news in that regard is that Tonor keeps the packaging pretty simple. You have the mic itself, which might look like a substantial piece of kit, but it's actually incredibly light. The mic is mostly made of ABS plastic, but then there is the grill up front, which is made of metal. That is the register on the very front, even though there are these slits on the side. So bear in mind, when you are using this mic, that it literally should be pointed at your mouth or sound source. The TC30 has what is called a cardioid pickup pattern, which means that there's a certain distance and angle at which it will capture the best sound. It looks a little something like this, as seen on the box as I'm demonstrating, but to get the best out of this, you want to be basically within that very vicinity. Go too far away from the mic and you'll actually sound far away, and the same goes for if you're too much to the side of the mic. It just won't sound as good. The mic fits right into the included shock mount, which is useful for eliminating any shakes or bumps that might translate to noise in your audio. It simply slides into those rubber bands pretty nice and easy, and the bottom of the shock mount has the screw point for the included little tripod. The little tripod is one that you'll ideally have as close to your subject as possible, pointed upward to capture all of the sound or vocals. However, like I would say with most microphones, you might prefer to put the microphone as close to your mouth as possible so that you can limit the amount of environmental noise that gets in. That can be achieved via boom arms or scissor clamps like this one. Tonor have their own clamp mount that is also quite affordable, so consider getting the combination of the two in order to achieve this kind of look and sound. One thing to keep in mind though, this mic is so light that sometimes it's not able to counterweight certain boom arms. I do have to fiddle with this from time to time to get it to stay, or else it'll just do something like this. But take a look at this portion right in the middle between my mouth and the microphone itself. This is what is called a pop filter, something that is usually extra in many other mic kits, but it comes included in this box. Now this is a big deal because one of the nuances to good audio is that you want to limit things that are called plosives. Those are the noises that cause audio to sound a little bit rough, like P sounds.
Pen, pineapple, apple pen.
And now with the pop filter, pen, pineapple, apple pen. A pop filter just cuts that wind that your mouth is making in those instances so that you don't get those rough noises in your final product. Seriously, it's quite nice that Tonor even includes this, and it really completes the TC30 kit. So let's get the whole thing set up and see where it really shines. Okay, here is an example of what the sound is like when I have the TC30 on the included tripod. The microphone is down here on the table, and I have to do two things to improve the sound. I have to increase the gain on the microphone, more on how to do that later, and I have to get it as close as I can despite its limited mobility. You'll notice that there's plenty of background noise, like from my air conditioning unit that you can clearly hear, and I'm not removing this in post, by the way, so you can get a feel for that, and you can also probably hear anybody else that's in the room. Say hi.
Hi!
Now, I also sound a little too far away as well. And then compare that to when the mic is right next to me, and while the background sounds might still be a little bit noticeable, you can tell that they're much more limited and that I sound way clearer. Bear in mind that for most of the applications I'm about to talk about, I'm putting the microphone on the clamp mount because I do want the mic as close to me as possible. As a USB microphone, the TC30 will basically need to be on a computer or a laptop whenever you want to record. I've been able to use the USB-C connection on the back with different cables to connect them to my different ports on my laptops, so a USB-C to a USB-C cable also works. But from there, the microphone will simply be recognized by your Windows or Mac OS, and you can select it in whatever program or service you want to use it in. This is already going to be a massive improvement over the mics that are found just on your laptop, as you can just go to your Zoom calls or your remote calls and just select the mic. Have the best practices like I outlined a second ago, and then you're going to be the best sounding member of that group. And when it comes to creative endeavors, obviously this microphone can be right at home with your live streaming computer rig, simply ready to go whenever you're ready to stream. I used the TC30 for one of my recent Amazon live streams, which you should definitely follow using the link below. I'm actually going to include this microphone in an upcoming show. The operation is basically the same. Whether you're in OBS or StreamYard, you can select the TC30 as your microphone input. You should probably check with your audience or your guests that you sound good and then just adjust accordingly. Which brings me to one of the quirks regarding USB microphones. Since the TC30 in particular has no controls on the physical mic itself and it's not connected to anything like mixers or interfaces, you'll have to find where in the computer to make your necessary adjustments. Now, I'm a Windows user, so let's go ahead and show that right now. You right-click on the sound icon in your tray, hit the sound settings, make sure that the TC30 is actually selected as your input, and then you can hit device properties. You'll see a slider for audio levels, which you can then experiment with to find the best level. For a somewhat soft-spoken person like me, and at this distance away from the mic, actually, I've found 70 is about my sweet spot. Obviously, if the mic is farther away, you'll have to increase it to like 80 or 90 or even max. And then you have the volume controls in your streaming or recording software, like I said earlier, where you can probably adjust things further. Now, while more control might be desired out of this mic, consider again that this mic is super affordable. This is compared to the typical audio setup that I have with like XLR microphones connected to audio interfaces, which are then finally connected to my computer. Now, while this may be considered a more professional setup, it's also incredibly expensive. Admittedly, the differences in sound between these various setups might be noticeable, but investments in better content creation is kind of an ongoing journey. If you're just starting out and you want to get better audio than from your laptop or even your on-camera microphone, a $30 mic like this set up in the proper ways is seriously a no-brainer. So let's put that all together for my main scenario, and you're watching them right now, these YouTube videos. Instead of a streaming service or a Zoom call, you'd have a recording application on the connected computer to record your good audio while your camera is getting the good visuals. As per usual, make sure that the TC30 is selected as the mic input. After you get everything ready, hit record in your recording software and then on your camera and just let them do their thing. Video editing software like Adobe Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve have features that will automatically sync your audio and your video. And in a controlled studio setup like this, there shouldn't be anything keeping the audio from the camera from matching up with the microphone in that software's process. So it's actually a lot easier than ever before to just sync up these two files. Seriously, for the majority of how I get my YouTube content, this is literally how I get it done. Separate audio recorded via a good microphone. You can see how this setup is better than just using the onboard microphone of your camera, which is obviously too far away and you're hearing it now, and it's not powerful enough to get the best audio. And here is a shotgun mic now on the very same camera, obviously going to be better than the onboard microphones of said camera, but still, this particular type of shooting is better for like run and gun, and if you're in a studio, there are better things that you can do. A studio setup where the content is more specific and more intimate is definitely where something like this just makes things better. And so there you have it, the multiple scenarios where a good microphone can actually improve all types of content. I went through the web calling scenario, tried out the mic during a live stream, and then used the microphone to get this very video done. And it was all done on a microphone that is just around $30. That's pretty nuts. A mic that is this light and easy to use can be really versatile. I mean, I didn't even showcase a podcasting scenario, but after everything that I've shared in this video, I think it's pretty easy for you to figure out where the Tonor TC30 can fit right into that scenario. Check out the Tonor TC30 via the links in the description, and thanks again to Tonor for sponsoring this video. Honestly, it's really nice to check out a product that is a good balance of quality and price, because when I was starting out as a content creator, I really wish that I had options like this. If you're new to the game, consider this as a way to hit the ground running while keeping some money in your pocket. So for more on microphones like this and beyond in the world of tech, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll do more videos about gear and creator gear and whatnot, so make sure you subscribe. Drop some likes on this video and let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. From there, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please take care of yourself and each other and enjoy your tea, everybody.